Time is about 19 half, 1933, 4, like this. And today is 25 May, 19, 20, 33, 34, like this, PM. And today is 25 May 2022. Uh, for example, I wanted Inter Apple. I am waiting to transfer, and they said that this week, but they don't say when and like this. But they said Friday you will be for Corona test. I said no problem. I respect to your delusion of nothing, especially nothing of humanity, but never vaccine and like this, never. That has issue. For example, inside, as I said, obis has activated, and like many times, like I am usually. For example, suddenly some of them with Azari issue, say to me, what, why did you with something game like pasuro, like pasuro, pasuro to İngilizce game to put in garbage. What is your problem? I said I never do it. And was two times asked of me what. I said, what is your problem? I never do it. But if you want, I will pay for the to make, for example, new. Not that is not. For example, I am rich to give them my money and like this, but for humanity, because they are totally in, refugee issue, and to this play with. I never never recommend for this game, as you know, as never we have suddenly and like a big bang to make panic, and also for example Atari chance with chance to be to be win, at least, for unfortunately they have with this panic to bring poor people and makes at least with this like to go to US and green card and like to chance. We never have this statistical abnormal absolute issue. You are totally in this situation with 0 0. That is so important to say why we never have, for example, this abnormal game, and to lose your confidence more and more done, at least, and absolutely to lose your money, your situation, your everything, and your humanity the first. Never I lottery like this, and that is for human issue. And for example, I said go to, I will pay for gaming for but never recommend this game, but they are totally refugee in this situation, and 24 hours, not 24, almost a cigar smoking. Unfortunately, to bring these people, every human infinity great, to lose, to waste their time and many issues. But also that is important, absolutely medication, but if this is bitter, unfortunately. And absolutely bitter, and what that is only medication to release of this situation as soon as possible. We never have other option, and absolutely immigration and take a refugee is so important for human to release of this abnormal obese. It make you panic with anything, even with the sentence words. For example, after this issue, some stuff has issue to say like Koa, I don't know because the door is closed. And for example, sometimes I forgot my keys on the behind the door. You know, many suddenly issues and and absolutely obvious. For example, has issue to make you fault. For example, you are washing your hand, suddenly one obi to come without any respect your privacy and to with laughing also, not for example with something, but that is absolutely rude, and look at you and laughing and say how are is good. I said obi, yes, not say to obi, why not, why not is is is good, why not. But obese, for example, has issue and laughing and to make you, for example, with this issue, at least in your privacy, not to suddenly come and bring, for example, you washing your hand and to take stuff for herself. Obi is totally feminine. And that is my name is never omelette, natural omelette. Never, never. But that has issue. For example, you go to out and look at you. This ob is new, for example, and everything has issue to make you anxiety and like this, and also a stuff of go and you forgot your keys behind the door and to say to, for example, to others in other room, but loudly you can hear absolutely. Uh, that is for a hospital, you know, they can host. Because, for example, I said I will pay for this hobbies game money and to, you know, that has issue. For example, I scared of absolutely this injustice. For example, I was 2 years duffel mentally hospital to put you any every month injection and torture you as they can in Belgium, at least. So obvious, for example, with this issue makes you angry. You know, you are absolutely human, and with this rude and to come you without respect your privacy and absolutely respect without humanity is also Satan. Absolute. And other issue, for example, before I said they open the door and makes wind to come, and bathroom has issue with some quiet fan to suck air as well. And this situation, my room has absolutely Wi-Fi to uh, uh, before I with this hole, you see if I can to, and to mix for example a smoke oil burning you know uh, burning oil smoke and anything a smell and you makes you at least and drugs and everything like as they can, and after you go to out they make so to hide as they can. We absolutely they have totally situation. staff, squad, everything to, and this obeys and absolutely has obedience as they can, unfortunately. That has issue. For example, before open the door and makes wind with this bathroom to come to inside and Wi-Fi to active this situation with behind the door to uh, make smoke as they can, cigar, everything, even abnormal. For example, haute colon, abnormal smell of. Yes, to make you, for example, anxiety, and this is issue for, and after I put this, but under door is totally, has issue with empty and air absolutely when you this side more with window is open and absolute to suck more, you can sense wind behind the door. We don't have, for example, you know, something with fan here and nothing, but with Wi-Fi to more and more makes this issue to make also wind, and totally has issue. For example, this integration. For example, some countries like Iran, real sample has problem with rain and so tiny stuff on the air to make so pollution, and they makes this abnormal for poor people to torture and makes to stable them as well in Iran. So important, they have with Wi-Fi and nuclear, to active electron on the air and to make wind and anything, cloud and everything to get absolutely get positive and negative to has issue with rain, pollution, everything they can as they can. It is not so complicated. So simple issue, and Wi-Fi everywhere. And satellite has issue to absolutely to focus with this issue to more close to, for example, to make with this abnormal as so closely pricely, so exact, trueness, so rightness. So my, my English, unfortunately, that has issue with them to make, for example, wind, and as well. I have so much this experience, for example, in Switzerland, some issue with insect to um, come to you and makes you anxiety suddenly. You have chips and like this to absolutely like Iran has receiver to this issue to make integration with this obvious, especially West. And absolutely they have around, especially Tehran, and like this pollution as they can, and behind, for example, like Khuzestan, Ahvaz, and everything to make pollution totally tiny and totally with this issue to fertilize clothes, air, and makes wind and makes everything rain and like this, and pollution to bring out pollution and energy with nuclear has issue with the integration. Iran, Khamenei to give them absolutely, like corona, delusion of nothing, especially nothing of humanity, with Wi-Fi to torture you, and absolutely resonance phenomena to exactly to help them to make as well, unfortunately. That is issue for real sample Iran, and you can imagine to torture poor people. They don't have other option and to, for example, warehouse for disintegration to help them in torture situation. Like China has worker issue to play for them in not a like warehouse situation that has issue to process to produce at least production in any level to make them money. Uh, Yes, that is absolutely this with obvious integration to torture poor people in Iran and to have issue with integration as a warehouse to uh, work for them to make material at least for China and nuclear for West. Absolutely, China has also nuclear issue, but nuclear yellow cake is so important for human and climate change and everything to destroy this infinity great world, unfortunately. At least and that is issue for Iran. They don't want to make people to release of this situation and torture as they can and for example uh, makes a slave, totally a slave to work for them in a warehouse situation, unfortunately, with abnormal panic, with abnormal air pollution, rain, and everything. And absolutely, even with sentence to make a panic. I hinted about my situation. For example, this obvious closed the door and kitchen has absolutely window and to make this issue with kitchen in front of my door and they make smoke and everything and abnormal عطر خدای من اگه یادم foam ات کلون نداره حالا abnormal smell to make you anxiety and anxious and absolutely kitchen bathroom they makes every time I close the bathroom door but they open as well integration. For example, one person and five obis at least with Azari that has a new and like this. I am waiting for transfer me to Belgium. Unfortunately, they don't have issue with my complaint for absolutely give me guarantee, give me assurance what kind of this abnormality they did and they do and on there unfortunately but never my poor people my mean system obese to never come back to Iran at least. God bless human. I don't want to make more 20 about 1935 like this. You can. God bless human.